Hello everyone, this is Yuri, Wantong, William, Jiayu, and Zihan. Today, we'll discuss whether managerial strategies focused on tightly controlling workers' activities are the most effective way for employers to ensure that workers are productive. Our presentation will be in two parts. Firstly, we'll talk about the advantage of tightly control. It includes productivity improvement, high clarity on structure and rules, and faster decision making. Secondly, the disadvantage of tightly controlling will be explained. It involves that it causes stress, loses their real life, and limits innovation. Also, this will be given to some cases to illustrate. So, let's get started with the first point.
Before to discuss tightly controlling workers' activity are the most effective way for employers to ensure that workers are productive, I would like to talk about tightly control. Tightly control can be described as tight supervision and minimal employee discretion. So there are four forms of managerial control, which are personalized control, technical control, bureaucratic control, commitment-based control.
With globalization and the market competition, productivity improvement and active participation of workers have become increasingly important. For most companies, their objectives are profit maximization. Controlling workers' activity can be considered as the most effective way to improve competitiveness. Firstly, controls help to spot violations, identify opportunities, handle completeness, decentralize authority, minimize costs, and deal with uncertainty. One way to improve productivity is to implement a tight control management system. This enables managers to monitor and control the quality of the products and services produced by the company. Also can reduce waste and defects, finally increase productivity. Braverman in 1974 argued that management could achieve objectives by strict supervision and fragmentation of jobs into work tasks. To remain competitive in the marketplace, business uses systematic approaches like balanced scorecards, employee interviews, and reviews to evaluate workers' performance and promote productivity. For example, the Procter & Gamble company's operations management strategy follows goals for optimization in efficiency and effectiveness productivity. Manager uses an array of criteria for evaluating productivity to support processes. After 3 years, Friedman pointed to the use of two broad types of strategy: direct control and responsible autonomy. P&G has been effective in adopting a tightly direct controlling policy. Edwards further proposed the concept there are multiple alternative management strategies to control the labor process. Employers use management strategies to turn the potential labor power into the actual productive effort. For most companies, the productivities can be regarded as profit maximization. Therefore, controlling workers' activity is the most effective way. Here is an example of Colgate-Palmolive and P&G. They both are consumer goods companies. Colgate advocates humanistic policy. However, P&G adopts a tightly controlling policy. In the current commodity market, the market power and reputation of P&G is still greater than Colgate. This can be revealed. Tightly controlling workers' activity is more effective.
Firstly, I would like to talk about tightly control can be the effective way for employers to ensure that workers are productive due to high clarity on structure and roles. So under the bureaucratic control, company will set up standardized process, rigid rules, a stiff division of labor and responsibility, and set up the high expectation to workers. So there is a successful example of bureaucratic control. The man on the right hand side is former CEO of McDonald's. He is Steve Easterbrook. He became the president and CEO of McDonald's in 2015 and was lauded for nearly doubling the company's share price and saving it from decline. This success is attributable to his strong combination of bureaucratic and charismatic leadership. He maintained McDonald's rich franchise model, which stipulates that each franchise must uphold the rigid rules and regulations set by the parent company so that the brand is maintained. He also kept a close eye on what was happening with the franchise and maintained the McDonald's hierarchical models. That's why McDonald's became the very top 100 company in the world. Secondly, I would like to talk about some features of direct control. The first one is learn about the tasks and jobs involved in your team. The second is ensure that all team members clearly understand their roles. The last one is be decisive and do not hesitate to give direct orders. So there is a famous example of directive leaders, which is Vince Lombardi. He's the former NFL executive, and Lombardi began his career in sports as an NFL coach. He had high expectations for his team and expect them to follow his strict rules of discipline and performance. He also clearly outlined each team member's role and ensured that these roles were understood before placing player or staff on the field. It is believed that his direction helped the team he coached to win 6 NFL championships and 2 Super Bowls.
Firstly, thank you, William, for bringing us the specific point about why it is the most effective way for the employers to ensure that workers are productive. But on the other hand, I have some opposing views which disagree with the topic. The 3 main weaknesses we found for tightly control are: first is cause stress, second, the employers may lose their real selves, and last is limits employers' innovations. Focus on tightly controlling the workers' activity may cause stress in the workplace, which will decrease productivity. And I think the biggest responsibility that a manager should do is to inspire other people to be the best versions of themselves, because there is no replacement for authenticity. People can sense fakeness in works, and controlling the employers may limit their innovation, which will decrease the business ability to keep up with modern trends. When your team isn't engaged in the activities that result in the following points: it causes lower productivity, poorer quality works, reduced profitability, higher companies' turnover rate, and more issues with sales and absenteeism. In the process of managing workers, I think the most important thing is to let them be themselves. If done well, everyone on the team will not only be more productive and efficient, but also happier with their jobs. People may sense fakeness when having to put on a face with the employees every single day, and that can not only lose each other's trust, but it also make work less enjoyable. And another right thing to do is give people freedom and autonomy. If people feel like they have to do their works in particular ways, have to wear certain things in the office, and can't be themselves, they are going to be less happy and productive. Having honest conversation about the type of work they want to do, encouraging employees to take a goal or idea and run with it, and letting them revolve their work around the lifestyle that they want can create momentum in the office, which can best encourage employees to be most productive on the way that they enjoy the most.
Alright, now that my fellow team has finished explaining the downsides of tightly controlling employees, allow me to introduce you the pros of using autonomy at work. As you can see on the slide, Friedman 1977 has explained that responsible autonomy is a type of management that enables employees more discretion and a greater variety at work. In short, it grants employees more freedom. But why is this method of management more beneficial? The next slide will explain this part. To begin with, there is greater happiness and engagement at work. Every individual feels accountable and therefore wants to perform at their very best because of their sense of responsibility. Employees will feel more valued as they are now allowed to make more decisions for themselves. Greater sense of team and organizational culture will enable workers to be more efficient, thus improving productivity. They feel more motivated to learn new skills, which will help businesses keep up with the latest trends and remain competitive in the market. All these listed benefits will overall lead to greater productivity. In conclusion, employees will not only be happier, more committed, and more productive, they'll also be more loyal than those whose actions is prescribed and fixed. This is because of job satisfaction that comes with responsible autonomy. With loyalty comes with lower turnover rates for companies. It costs less to keep workers than replacing them. Therefore, with autonomy installed in the workplace, it can indirectly lead to decreasing costs of replacing workers. The example workplace I'll be using in this presentation is well known across the globe and is something that we probably can't live without, and that is Google. Google is also a consistent top ranking in Fortune's best companies to work for list. It has been ranked first as of 2019 and has been in the top list of top 100 best companies to work for 11 years. Google has earned 15 awards from Comparably in 2019 alone, including Best Company Culture. These awards for Google show the success this company has achieved despite not tightly controlling their workers. In the website Tiny Pulse, Lee mentioned that Google encourages autonomy. Workers are allowed to work wherever they please. Their workplace is filled with leisure activities that you as an employee have full access to at any given time. They are not under any strict guidance whatsoever by the management, but the company is still able to operate better than most companies, which goes to show how this style of management is efficient. And that will be the end why autonomy can act as a replacement for the more restrictive management method. Thank you.
In conclusion, tightly controlled workers' activities are an effective way for employers to ensure that workers are productive, but not the most effective way. This strategy will reduce the imposition of the employment relationship by minimizing employee autonomy. It limits innovation of the employees, but employers will get high clarity on structure and roles to improve productivity efficient. However, in autonomy, they are paying more attention to the freedom, flexibility, innovation of employees. Therefore, several factors influence which form of control management tries to implement. This will depend on the type of work and the industry. For instance, companies like TikTok and Google need employees improve their ability to innovate to maintain their core competitiveness. Thus, autonomy can give them more flexible freedom. However, for the assembly line workers, it's more suitable for tightly controlling. As a result, the choice of management strategy in the company is also a question worth considering. That's all for our presentation. Thank you for your listening.